Hello, it is Thursday night and we are Film Forum. Welcome to Film Forum. At least it's not raining this week. Last week we almost didn't have a show, but this week we will, thank God. What is Film Forum? A politically progressive talk show with a feminist edge. I'm your host, Chyrisse, and we do a lot of topical issues, politics. We do a lot of altruistic shows. Last week we talked about the Brooksville contamination site and environmental racism. And there's a couple things we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be talking about the wetlands issue with the EPC, a little bit about that. And public access. We are in danger here, so we're going to be talking about that too. For those of you that don't know, the budget for 2008-2009 is coming up, and it looks like we may be on the chopping block. Yes, we may not have a show at all, none of us, after October, unless you, the viewers, perhaps call up the county commissioners and tell them how much you enjoy public access. We've had public access for 20-some years, and it's a wonderful service. We do public service announcements, all sorts of cultural shows, shows in many different languages, anything and everything. And the great thing about it is we're all volunteers. We all do this because we enjoy it. It's like a family down here. And it's really important that we keep this going because Tampa has public access and so do most of the major cities. If we don't, we're just a little, we might as well be like Pasco. We're just a little cheapy county. So let's stay with the big leagues here because we love our community and we want to keep it going. This is the only local outlet that we have to get information out to you, the people, even during elections. We have candidates on, and this is a very valuable tool, communicative tool that we use for free speech. And also the education channel, we need to keep that going too. So at any rate, let me introduce my guest here. He is actually a regular, Bob Hogue. He's been on the show, God, for the last couple of years. You come on like every season. He's like a good friend of mine. Like the plague, he just kind of shows up, right, once in a while. But Bob Hogue is a geologist, and he's everything. You have degrees in what, anthropology, is it sociology?
Psychology.
Psychology, and he's here to chat with me, and we'll talk about politics and whatever comes up. We're just kind of freewheeling tonight, and we'll open up the phone lines so you, the people in Tampa Bay, can voice your opinions too. So, where shall we begin, Bob?
Well, you know, I think this whole issue about the possibility that public access could be cut off because of a lack of funding, because the funds are going to go perhaps into something like the Sports Authority or building a new facility for the Buccaneers or something. I think we need to talk about that a little bit and how public dollars are spent and where the public dollars come from and why aren't they earmarked more for helping the average person rather than to provide perks for the wealthy.
Yeah, I agree with you. It seems we are the people that voted our representatives in, and what are they doing? They're taking away our quality of life. They're cutting out, library hours, they're cutting out recreation facilities, swimming pools, anything that gives this community culture. Mm-hmm. We're going to be stripped down. Oh, but we'll have a wonderful sports complex. I mean, we have Raymond James. We have a Tampa Bay Convention Center. We have the Ice Palace. Mm-hmm. What more do we need? I mean, are we lacking? And only a small sector even goes to these events.
Well, you know, and not only is public access at risk here, but there's a plan to let go of permanent county employees to help make the budget issues balance out the way that the people in power want them to balance out. But we have to really think about that. I think that we have boxes. The county commission, I believe, has a box at the Raymond James Stadium that costs who knows how much money to maintain every year, probably far more than it costs to fund
corporations are the ones that they
right.
have their boxes, right? Their seats that they have all year round. Well, I've never even been to a game.
Well, it's important to understand there's nothing wrong with sports and there's nothing wrong with people enjoying sports, but
It's the elite, though.
It shouldn't be funded at the expense of programs that do tremendous good to a great number of people in our community.
Absolutely.
And the people with the least heard voices, with the least deep pockets, are the people who tend to get most hurt by funding cuts. And that's really a real problem.
They're being stepped on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Trampled on, and it's just very disconcerting that this is going on. And especially even with the education channel. They're already dumbing down America as it is. We need to have the education channel. They do a lot of after-school tutoring and all sorts of shows that would benefit kids. Isn't that what we really want, is to help children and to help people of all walks of life? At least that's what I thought the idea was.
Well, you know, and I think we haven't completely lost our ability to have that happen, but we need people who care to call in and talk to the people in the county commission, or talk to the mayor's office, or talk to the governor, or whoever. We can sit and say things on this show, but unless people call their representatives and make their feelings known, there's a high probability that special interest groups will get to dominate the decisions made. So this is everybody's chance to participate a little bit and maybe change the direction of things.
I agree, and you know, one thing that people aren't talking about, they're having these massive layoffs in the county, the city, the state. The bottom line is because the war is sucking up, what? You know, 10, 19 billion, how much a month? About 10 billion a month, I think. And that's why the war is sucking up the money, which means the states are being starved, and then it's a domino effect. It rolls down.
I think we spend something, I saw something that said, I think it was $2 million is spent every half hour or something like that we're in Iraq.
Wow. And
just think about that. Think about all of the things we don't have in this country that we could really use.
Like health care?
Like health care.
56 million people are without health care, and even those that do have insurance may not really be covered, because when you get sick, it doesn't mean that the insurance company is going to pay for the procedure. You may have to just sit there and just, well, be sick.
Well, you know, and it's very common to hear people go, well, but these programs in these other countries that have quote-unquote socialized medicine, they have all these flaws and problems. Well, I have yet to see...
Like Canada, they keep talking about that.
Right.
Urban legends.
Nobody gets on the street and demonstrates in these other countries saying, you know, we want to get rid of our socialized medicine program. We want the American model. I haven't seen that ever.
Like, the UK got universal health care right after World War II. And have you seen the movie Sicko yet?
Actually, I'm going to see it this weekend. I have not seen it yet.
You know, it's not really distributed to many theaters.
No,
it
isn't. It's difficult to see.
And when it came out, it was only in one theater in Tampa. And then they kind of spread it out a little bit, but you need to see it. One interesting thing, and I have some statistics here that they talk about in the movie. The World Health Organization did a survey of a bunch of countries. I think it's like almost 200 countries. And the best health care in the world is found in France, #1 health care. #2, Italy. We are we're 37 next to Slovenia, which is 38. People, this is really sad. And actually, according to what I have here, we spend 15.3% of the gross domestic product on health care. France spends 10%. UK spends 6%. They spend less money on health care, but they're all covered. And you know, we already do have so-called socialized medicine. It's called Medicare and the VA system. Why don't we just expand those so everybody can have health care?
Well, it's more than just the VA system, and it's more than Medicare. Congress has socialized medicine. All the people in Congress,
they're covered, aren't they?
They have the best coverage in the world. I would really like to see a question in the next presidential debates. I would like to see somebody ask these guys and women whether or not they would be willing to give up their health care coverage until everybody in the United States had the same level of health care coverage that is provided free for Congress.
Isn't Michael Moore asking or the people to do that? Because what's the guy from Ohio? Herod something, or I can't remember his name. He ran for Congress. There was a gentleman that ran for Congress in Ohio. His name escapes me. Sherrod Brown.
Okay.
That's it, Sherrod Brown.
Okay.
He did that. He is going without health care, just like what you said, because is to make a statement, and they should too.
I think they should. I don't know how they can stand up in front of the American people and not be embarrassed by the coverage they have and by the lack of coverage that about 40% of the people in this country have.
Absolutely.
So this needs to be addressed.
And like it says here, some people think, oh, the taxes will have to be raised to take care of it. Well, you know what? You're already paying up the rear for your insurance anyway. Several $100s a month, probably. So what if the taxes are raised a little bit? You just, this way when you get sick, you'll be able to just walk into any place and get taken care of.
Well, you know, I wonder how much of a national health care policy could be paid for by what we're spending in Iraq.
Oh,
you know, it's interesting that on the one hand, the Bush administration has asked that we you know, stay the course, stay in Iraq, you know, keep your sons and daughters, keep them, shipping them over there and helping fight this dirty little war. Although I, of course, haven't seen him volunteer his daughters to go over. But at the same moment that he's trying to push for us to stay in Iraq, he just vetoed a bill that was going to provide medical coverage for children.
I know, I can't believe that. Does George Bush hate kids?
Well, no, if you're a Republican child, he doesn't like, if you're not a Republican child. I think
they love, but no, they love blastocysts.
Well, that's
you know,
true.
let's save a stem cell.
That's right.
But a child.
Well, they're much easier to feed, I think. You know. The hypocrisy is just rampant, and you know, finally, I was having a beer the other day, and I was talking to this fella next to me, and he had been a Republican his whole life, and he's still a Republican, but he said, you know, this year I think I have to vote for a Democrat. Wow. And this guy is a staunch Republican, and I think even the defenders of the faith in the Republican Party finally have had enough. I hope so.
I hope so too. And right now, any Democrats you kind of favor right now, or are you still looking?
Actually, I like John Edwards. I think he's the most
That's who I want to. Yes.
He doesn't seem to be in anybody's back pocket.
You're still my friend now.
Okay. Pass the test. I mean, I think there's several people who would make good presidents. But right now,
But who's electable? That's the thing too. John Edwards is electable. Hillary isn't. The Bush people, actually the Republicans want Hillary or Barack Obama in there because they know they're going to lose.
Well, I think
that's why the media is pushing them.
I would like to think that it would be that I could run my left shoe for office and it would beat whoever the Republicans put up.
Yeah, like my mom always says, I'd vote for a sock puppet over Republican. Oh my God. But John Edwards has a true universal health care plan. He has, he's the only one, he's like Al Gore in a sense as far as the global warming goes. He's very progressive, he's for poverty. I can't think of anything that any of the other candidates have really done. Now, I do like Kucinich, but he can't win. He's not, you know, electable.
Well, actually, most of them are pretty decent people, I think. I can't think of any of them that I don't think is a decent person. But again, we want to make sure that the reins of power are taken away from the American Nazi Party. I mean the Republicans. These people have been nothing but horrifying. They haven't done a single thing right. They've stripped the Treasury. They've put us into a war that we should have never gone in on a pack of lies. They're killing young Americans every day by sending them over there. And they have this real cute way of selling the war. They say, well, it's an all-volunteer army. So, you know, these people knew what they're getting into. Well, it's really a mercenary army that we have. So I mean, our people that are over there, they're great folks, you know, and they're doing what their country's asked them to do.